welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Quite a few episodes I'm doing this month are going to be about Washington wines because March is the original Washington wine month. And I think it's very appropriate to do that. Washington is the second largest producer of wine in the United States. Way behind California. California is a bigger state. Been doing wine a lot longer than Washington. And Washington probably will never catch up to California. Just saying. I am doing, and you guys know me really well. I know that. You've been watching these episodes. By the way, before I get started, I want to thank the new subscribers I got recently. I don't think I'll say their last name. Well, but the first letter of the last name. So we have Daniel O, Rachel B, Caitlin W, and Alex M. You know who you are. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the programs to come. I really enjoy doing this. Partly education, a lot of it reviewing wines. Because, you know, I want you to spend your wine dollars wisely. But we talk a lot about the wine world, and that's really what I enjoy doing. That's what I'm passionate about. We're going to talk about Washington State Merlot, and I know that many of you who have watched these episodes know that I am very excited about Washington State Merlot. I think Merlots from Washington are some of the best in the world. I think the three best spots, I'm going to name two, and then you name the other one that I talk about many times. It's kind of an odd spot. I don't know if a lot of people realize that they do very good Merlot there, but obviously Bordeaux, Right Bank especially, because that's where they focus on Merlot, and Washington State are I think top places for Merlot. But there's another one that I mention often in the comments. Do you remember from past episodes which Merlot, which area that I feel Merlot comes to, that they do really well with Merlot? Sorry, got a little tongue-tied there. Anyway, see if you can come up with that spot. I'd be really curious if you remember. And you know, maybe some people could disagree with me. That's okay. But I think this is a great Merlot from this particular country, and I think they do a fantastic job, other than Bordeaux and Washington State. Now, I'm not saying that every Merlot produced in Washington State is great Merlot. I mean, that's true anywhere. Not every Bordeaux produced with Merlot is the best. But the top producers and consistent producers make great Merlot. And Merlot does really well in Washington State. Obviously, blending grape, a lot of people use it to kind of round out, soften out the wines, like Cab, for instance. Merlot doesn't have quite as tannins are not quite as heavy as they are in Cab, although I think Merlot has great structure and it's one of my favorite varietals. By the way, how many of you have been influenced by the movie Sideways and other things that have happened that really put Merlot on the back burner? Do you think you've been influenced by that? Do you think that you stay away from Merlot perhaps because it's not the hipster wine? I don't know. I'm curious. I'd like to know. So we're going to get started right away. And I'll talk a little bit about pricing as well. The first one we're going to do is the 2016, is it 16? 17, excuse me, 2017 Milbrandt Vineyards, the Estates Merlot, Wahluke Slope, Washington. This rolls in at $20. So, when you talk about pricing of wine, I know I reviewed Terra Blanca, Arch Terrace Merlot was around 17 bucks, okay? Remember we talked about how Keith Pilgrim owns his vineyards. That makes a big difference in the pricing. Milbrandt, Butch, and Jerry own their vineyards. They started planting in '97, and they started planting their, I think it's fourth generation farmers. They have a lot of land. They now have a lot of vineyards, so they don't have to pay as much for the fruit. So if the winery owns the vineyards, the wineries are going to be more reasonably priced. The other thing that drives pricing is, well, if you have to buy expensive fruit, you have to have that in your wine, the pricing wise. We have a $27 and a $32 bottle of Merlot here as well. But so, and the other thing is the use of oak. Oak barrels are expensive. If they use new oak, if a winery uses new oak, they have to put that into the price of the bottle of wine. And a lot of people, consumers, like the oak profile on a wine. The other thing that can drive a price is reputation, scores in the periodicals like Wine Spectator, Wine Enthusiast, when they get good scores, so it, you know, builds their reputation. A lot of times the price goes up because people start looking for that wine, clamoring for that wine. I really appreciate it when a winery keeps their price down even though they get good scores. That means a lot to me. I remember Chalk Hill a long time ago. Chalk Hill Chardonnay, #1 wine in the Wine Spectator. This is way back. The price of that Chardonnay went from a fairly respectable price to $15 to $20 higher. That's hard to take. Just because I got a good score? They ran out, of course, of that vintage, and then, you know, it stayed up there. They never dropped the price. Okay, Milbrandt, 2017 Merlot, $20. Color, yeah, kind of a reddish, dark, ruby color. Yeah, fairly dark. Do you like seeing the color? Let me know. What do we got on those? Oh, big time cherry. A little cedar coming through on the nose. Lots of cherry. A little touch of cedar. Now, cedar, of course, notes come from oak. Getting a little dusty wood component as well. This has a meatiness to the nose. You know, like a little bit of raw meat coming on there. And red flower notes as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Ooh, that has some amazing structure to it. Really, really grippy on the backside. And spicy. I called it on the meat. I really did. Because it's meaty on the palate. I mean, this is a meaty, consistent, like, roasted meat on the palate, which is really interesting. I'm wondering if this is 100% Merlot. You never know. They could have thrown a little bit of cab in there. I do not know. They could have, you know, a lot of times they like to use Petit Verdot. They'll put Malbec in it. As long as they have 75% Merlot, they can call it that varietal. This is 1,000 cases that's produced. This is quite a powerful Merlot. Just saying. Just saying. Get a little black olive. Red cherries. Grippy on the finish. This baby needs food. By the way, I don't know if he still does it, but Butch has a cooking channel that he does. Let's see. It's called cooking show called Pair This. Okay, so pair this for delicious dishes. So he might still do it. I need to look that up. I haven't looked that up lately. But Butch would definitely want his wines to pair with food. He says cowboy stew on this one for the wine. Might be some oak tannins on this. Remember, they own the fruit, so they might be able to throw a little more oak on this because, you know, they can afford it to pull it in at that price point because they own their own fruit. This is a solid. This is a solid Merlot. Yeah, meaty. Good tannins, spicy on the backside. Oak tannins are coming through big time. Yeah, that baby will age. This will age easily. I'm going to say 10 years. Easily 10 years. A little blackberry coming through on the backside as well. I'm going to go straight up A. I think it's a solid Merlot. Might not be for everybody. If you're looking for a plush little soft Merlot, this is not it. This is a bad boy, and I like it a lot. 2016. Seven Hills Merlot, Walla Walla Valley. Now, Walla Walla, of course, is a premier growing region in Washington State. So that in itself will demand more money. Casey McClellan's a winemaker, 2016. One of the things about Merlot that you'll find is you can find some older Merlot because they don't sell as fast as cabs. It's not difficult to find Merlot that's a little bit older than some of the cabs on the shelf. Just saying. So Casey used to own, I don't think he still does, Seven Hills Vineyard. So he owned his fruit at one time. I don't know if he does now or not. I couldn't tell you. But he did. $27. This is really dark. Just saying. Like close to black. A little purple black going on there. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has some really like sweet fruit up front. I'm getting sort of a cherry red plum thing, and it's really, really sweet fruit on the nose. You get a little, I'm getting some pencil shavings. There's some black olive on this one as well. Some baking spices coming through. Much different nose than the mill brand Merlot. Let's see what we get on the palate. Boy, this is meaty as well. The tannins are softer on this one than the mill brand. This has a plusher feel in the mouth, but I'm getting that kind of meatiness on the tannins as well on this one. So I'm getting cherry, plum, for sure. The pencil lead shaving thing is coming through right on the mid palate into the finish. I'm getting some red flower notes as well. This is a well-made 2 in a row. This is very well made, very smooth. A lot more of what you would expect from a Merlot, whereas this is kind of a, you know, a nasty, for lack of a better word, kind of a cowboy Merlot, since he says cowboy stew. Butch is a little bit of a cowboy, a little bit. Good structure, nice integration of acidity, fruit, and tannins. Very smooth, very polished, but at the same time structured. I like this one a lot. You get a little black olive thing on the backside as well on this. Yeah, this is an A Merlot as well. I'm going to go with A on this one. 2 in a row. A. That's pretty amazing. I like that kind of pencil lead shaving thing on the mid palate into the finish. Yeah. 2 A's in a row. Very excited about that. Let's move on. This is the 2016 Barrage Cellars Blacklisted Merlot. It rolls in at $32. So now we're getting up a little bit. Now this guy gives a lot of information on the back. I'll go through this quickly. Yakima appellation, Red Willow Vineyard, 56%, Boucher Vineyard, 44%. Now those are 2 top vineyards in Washington State. And this guy does not own those vineyards. So see what I'm saying? He's paying a little bit for the fruit, so he has to reflect that in the price of the wine. 14.5% alcohol, I believe that's what it says. Barrel aged 28 months in 30% new oak and 70% 1 or 2 twice used French oak. So he's using French oak. 100% Merlot. Cases produced 450. Now Butch did 1,000. He doesn't mention the case production on this one. So 450, smaller production. They don't own their fruit. They're using some French oak. So you know, you have that price will be those materials used in that wine will be reflected in the price. Man, I can't talk today. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can follow along with me. You know, a little bit slow on the uptake here. There you go, Barrage Cellars. Did I show it? So, a lot of information on the back of the label, and I'm very curious how many of you, and comment if you feel you can, comment. I love comments. I haven't been getting a lot of comments lately, and I really do like them. Do you want a lot of information on the back? Less information? I enjoy the information. I think it's pretty cool. You can kind of understand why it's $32, right? This is kind of into the purple, definitely purple, ruby purple category. There you go. Let's see what we get on the nose. So this has a lot of chocolate. Chocolate black plums, cherries, a little bit of earth coming through, a little dirt action. Not dirty, but you know, that old dirt sort of thing. I get some baking spices on it. This is all because of oak. Guys, chocolate, baking spices, definitely oak does that to a red wine. Even a little tiny hit of cinnamon. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is like plum and cherry juice with a drizzle of chocolate. They stir it all up, but the chocolate isn't overpowering. It's a nice undertone. I like this wine. I think, you know, chocolate is not a flaw in a wine. I don't mind it as long as it's not too dominant. This is well balanced. I get that earthiness on the backside, which is very interesting. This is smooth as well. Nicely integrated tannins, fruit, and acidity. Nice, little grippy on the backside like the Milbrant. Good structure. This also could use a really good blue cheeseburger. Just saying, or cowboy stew, whatever cowboy stew is. Look up his cooking channel. What does it say it is again? Pair this. Pair, P-A-I-R, pair this. And he probably has cowboy stew in one of those episodes. Just saying. So anyway, Barrage Cellars, solid Merlot. I'm telling you guys, we have 3 Merlots here that really do a nice job representing what Washington State can do with this varietal. And, you know, we've gone from $20 to $32, and I think they're all worth what they're asking. Each one goes up in level based on what they're sourcing. This guy is sourcing fruit from Red Willow and Boucher Vineyards, very well-respected vineyards in Washington State. The fruit's going to cost him a little bit more. He's using 30% new French oak, which is going to cost him something. You know, so those all factor into the price, guys. I'm really impressed with this one as well. I'm going to go AA+ on this one. I think this one will age beautifully for 10 years like the Milbrant. I think the Seven Hills will age as well, but not maybe as long. It's a little smoother, more polished, whereas this one has a little edginess on the finish with the tannins as well as the Milbrant. I think the Milbrant's a fantastic value. So we go AA+ on Barrage. Both of those are A wines. That is a nice episode. When you start looking at Washington Merlot and you come out with 3 A's, I mean 2 A's and an A+, that's pretty impressive. Very nice wine. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm close to 600 subscribers. That's exciting. That's pretty cool. There's that many people that actually want to watch me. I love it. Thank you for all your support. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.